Hello, this is Andy Graham of Hobo Traveler or MyLanguageResearch.com. I'm in, Natangu, Benin, West Africa, and I wanted to talk about learning a language. I think you could actually give an aptitude test to people to see what techniques you need to have the person to learn a word. I'm going to say a word from my neighborhood in Lomé, Togo, where I was staying, and I want you to think about this. Okay, see, when you learn a word, there's people that are naturals. A natural is a person with perfect pitch that can hear all the intonations of a word and then repeat the word back the first time. That is a very annoying person because they can learn a language quite quick. They're like good musicians. They can hear the music, they hear the sound, they hear the tone, they hear the melody of the word, they hear the inflection, all the ups and downs, the tones and stuff. Absolutely a normal person that travels abroad, and I'm surrounded by these people. They just hear a word and they repeat it. Now, I'm the opposite. I'm the absolute brain dead, tone deaf. I have a good in some ways I can learn a word easy, I can remember a word, but I have to use all my senses. I have to use my sense of hearing, my sense of touch, my speaking, my seeing, every sense involved. The more senses I get involved in this, the better. But I'm going to do a little experiment. I want you to go play along with me, and I want you to repeat the word. Okay, and hey, Elena's behind me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a word, and then I want you to repeat the word. Kojo via copy. I said it quick, and I said it one time. Okay, then I'm going to say the word slow. Kojo via copy. Okay, repeat the word. Kojo via copy. Okay, now can you remember how to spell it? Can you think how to spell it? Okay, what happens when we learn, and this is why I said you could give an aptitude test. What we could do is I could say a word, and what happens is to really learn a word, and this is what I always try to get the locals to do, is to repeat the word to me. They almost refuse to repeat the word to you. It's really complicated French to get them to repeat a word. I mean, you have to be so good at French. It's like, répétez le mot, s'il vous plaît. Repetition seulement. They will say another word. They'll jump all over the place. And then you're in the market, and there's noise, and there's 5 people talking, and they're all laughing, and they enjoy the revelry. They enjoy the idea that you don't understand a word too. So, but I'm going to do it in a different way. I'm going to hold up the word. Kojo via copy. Now, that makes it a little easier. But truly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say the word. I'm not sure I'm even saying that correct in French. Kojo via copy. Kojo. Okay, the J would be pronounced like G. The V would be pronounced a little bit like a B. So what's happening is you have to get a person that says these words correctly. And then I would say Kojo via copy. And then you would repeat it back. And the number of times I have to say it would be how good your aptitude is. So if I said Kojo via copy, and you said it back correct the first time, that means you're a natural. If I said it 5 times, because what we'll do is we'll slowly listen to the word. That's why when I listen to a computer tape or something like that, and they only say it once, I think, well, wankers. Hey, there's no way I can hear that all the intonations of that word one time. I must hear it at least 4 times. And truly, what I do is I program a mat girl that I'll listen to a word and I'll have it say it 50 times in a row until that word just resonates in my brain. Okay, and I also learn, oh, wait a minute, the J is really pronounced like a G, J. And then the V is kind of a B-ish thing. And look, there's an accent on the end of the thing. So that means that Kojo via copy. So it's got an accent on the end. So all these little things take my brain a certain amount of time to adjust. Now, sadly, most teachers are just good at teaching. That's true. They're horrible at teaching. They're good at learning the language. That doesn't mean they're good at teaching the language. Okay, so what you got to do is you got to understand it's all about repetition of the word until you do it. I call it kind of psycho-cybernetics word learning. I say the word and you repeat it. Oops, then you correct it. Cycles, you keep, it's like reaching for something. You keep working your way into it till you get it correct. Okay, and that's what has to happen, and this is where most language teachers, just to me, are just absolutely idiots. They say the word one time and I'm supposed to know it. Hey, I'm not a genius at languages. They really need to repeat it over and over until they hear you say it correctly and go, okay, we got it. But the best way to do this is with a computer program or a tape or something, and it just repeats. Now, to say it one time to me is just a waste of energy. Now, what it does do is gets you familiar with the rhythm and the cadence and the sound and the music of the language. But does it really teach you the word? No. I have to get it so that when somebody says this word and 5 other people are today and the motorcycles are going by and the music is playing in the background. I mean, I don't know how many times I'm in a bar or some restaurant or someplace and the music's just blaring and there's 6 people talking and they say something. Would there be a copy? And I go, hey, you're speaking so low. And I try to say, speak it loud. Okay. So it's all about the volume too. But if you hear that word about 50 times and repeated, like kojo via copy, 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 kojo via copy. It finally just hits your brain, and then when you hear it, you can pull it out of the sentence and say, yeah, I know that word. Okay, it's like learning, though. I'm going to make a couple examples, like onomatopoeia, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Can you just repeat that word immediately, or do you have to hear it a few times? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Do we know this word from Mary Poppins? Or do you know onomatopoeia? This is words like buzz and words that are like whack. The word is the same as onomatopoeia is a word. Onomatopoeia is there's a song. Onomatopoeia and supercalifragilisticexpialidocious by I think. Okay, what my point here is that you really could have an aptitude test that says how many times does it take this individual person to repeat the word back correctly. So you could take a set of 10 words and then you could say them and you could measure each word and see how quickly. And then there's tones. Like I have trouble with high tones. So there's really low tones. When people speak really high, or really low, I can't really get it. So, and then the biggest problem I have with everybody is they speak softly and they look around. Hey, please, look at me. Sometimes I go, look at me. I mean, you really got to be dominating to speak a foreign language because you're actually competing with all the naturals. And the naturals act like, hey, what's the problem? Why don't you learn? And they just revel in the fact that they learn it quick and you don't. And it's really disheartening because I remember my Spanish teacher in university, he goes, Buenos dias, ¿cómo estás? That's the first day of class, beginning Spanish. I learned every single person in my class had studied for 2 or 3 years in high school, and I had 0. But it was called beginner. And this is the problem, is that people always, they kind of cheat on languages. They act like they don't understand languages. But, there's, again, back to getting all your senses in there. You got to be able to see it, hear it. If I really want to learn it, I write it, and you get all these senses into it. But you take a word. I could think I could test somebody. I could say a word, kojo via copy, and then I can't say that correctly because I'm not French. But I could get my French friend to say it to me, and then keep correcting it until I say it correctly. There's guttural R's and there's diphthongs and there's all these different sounds that you do. And really, the ideal situation for me is I take one program that says the word, then I take this computer program called a Macro Express, and I get it to repeat that word to me 50 times until I can see, understand, and even think of the phonetic reasons why it was sounded out that way. Like there's little rules, like J is pronounced like G, and the ia is not one thing, it's ia. Cope, the accent, all these little phonetic rules I have to get through my brain on that specific word, because we really do learn one word at a time. Now, let's talk baby talk. How do you teach your baby to talk? You say, mama, 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 mama. Why is an adult different? Why would we not learn the language the exact same way by repetition? Hey, okay, Andy Graham of HoboTraveler.com in Natangu, Benin, West Africa, trying to, it's a francophone country. I'm trying to learn language. I also have a website called My Language Research where I try to go through all the theories on how to learn a language, and I try to work through conceptual ways. Sadly, every person is different, and every person needs to learn a language differently. And if you got somebody in there right next to you that's just learning it really quick, move away from them. It's not a benefit, it's just a distraction, because they enjoy learning quick while you learn slow. Get me next to a computer, I look at it one time and I learn. I watch somebody do construction work and I can watch it one time and learn. And I'm always wondering why, why it takes them so long. But on languages, I'm extremely slow. I have to take and rote memory, remember every word. Some words I just kind of recall and I hear them, and then I learn them during the course of the process, kind of a random learning. But generally what I need to do is listen to a word and repeat it like 50 times. Andy in Benin.